One of the best debut novels ever written in the fantasy genre has to be Legend by David Gemmell. I was gripped from the opening prologue. It's often said that when a writer submits a manuscript to an agent in the hope of getting it published as a novel, the first few pages should grab the reader's attention and draw them in. I can think of only 3 books in the fantasy genre which have openings that blew me away. The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss is one, The Black Company by Glenn Cook is another, and the third is Legend by David Gemmell. The plot is quite straightforward. The legend in question is a mighty warrior called Druss, who has shunned luxury and riches in favour of a simple life in a cabin high in the mountains with his wife Rowena. We meet him after she's died. He's 60 years old and just waiting to follow her to the great beyond, when he's asked to help defend the fortress Dros Delnoch, which is all that is holding back the nomad hordes intent on laying waste to the Draenei Empire. If the fortress falls, so does the empire. David Gemmell began Legend in the 1970s after being told he had cancer, which he believed to be terminal. The first draft was written in a fortnight. He wrote it to take his mind off his illness and to achieve his dream of having a novel published before he died. When told that he'd been misdiagnosed, he set the novel to one side and resumed his career in journalism, until a friend read the manuscript and convinced him to tidy it up and try to get it published. It hit the bookshelves in 1984 and was an immediate hit. For me, it is the best debut novel ever written in the subgenre of heroic fantasy. Gemmell went on to write more than 30 novels. The worlds he created are dark, cruel and full of danger. Bloody murder or the like usually provides the impetus for plot development, and everything is decided by violence. His work typically features a charismatic warrior tortured by loss and self-doubt who bands together with a group of unlikely companions to defeat a dark enemy, often aided by magical forces. And while his stories are extremely violent, there is always a strong heroic theme with nods towards loyalty, honour and sacrifice. Con Iggulden, a best-selling writer of historical and fantasy fiction, is one of his many admirers. Iggulden read Legend when he was 14 and says it was then that he knew that he had found the kind of writer he wanted to be. During his lifetime, Gemmell's novels were bestsellers and still sell well today. His 3 novels about Druss and another 3 about an equally memorable character, the assassin Waylander, are easily his best. He's been praised as a fireside mythmonger whose characters and storylines have the authentic feel of legends handed down through the ages. Gemmell was a rebel with a sense of humour. His career in journalism came to an end and he took up writing full-time after he was sacked for using colleagues' names for characters in his 3rd novel, Waylander. Apparently, his boss had regarded it as a poisonous attack on his integrity. My own story about David Gemmell concerns a friend of mine who found himself on the wrong side of the law. He wasn't a bad person. He would probably have thrived in the world created by the likes of Gemmell, but his violent behaviour was frowned upon in our more ordered society. He ended up serving 3 years in prison. While he was incarcerated, he wrote to me asking for reading material. I sent him Legend. When he next wrote, he asked for another book by Gemmell. In his 3rd letter, he asked me to send him all the books by the author that I could. After he'd served his time, my friend told me Gemmell's novels were so popular among the inmates that they'd almost become a currency. I cannot fathom why, but I suspect that the themes that run through all his books, honour and loyalty, lost causes, and especially the possibility of redemption for crimes committed, struck a chord with those who were locked up. Well, that's all for this episode. If you like these podcasts and find them useful, please follow or subscribe and share them with your friends. If you want to help with the cost of making them, you can buy me a cup of coffee.